Welcome to another episode of PopWood Playback. I'm David LYELL with Popular Woodworking. Today we're talking charging stations, and I have a bunch of charging stations to show you, but first we're gonna hop into a quick build that we just did to get this stuff off of this shelf. All of this was right here, and it was, what? And the floor. Well, yes. You might see that later. But we had a charging situation. So we fixed it. This is all lap joints. I have a French cleat up here that holds it onto the wall. And then these shelves are not only lap jointed into this stretcher, but they're pocket holed into our plywood walls. So let's hop into this build and stick around for the rest of the videos at the end. Okay, so I grabbed a bunch of random plywood from this beautiful stack of crap behind me. Got some nice veneer, and then some not so nice veneered stuff, some construction grade. I'm gonna rip these all to the same width, then cross cut them, and then they're gonna be ready to make into shelves. I'll need to cut the lap joint on them. So here we go. Jake, can I cut these all at once?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Not bad. Not recommended for fine furniture, but today we're not making fine furniture. I grew up working in a machine shop, and I was getting in trouble for gang cutting things like this because it ends up like you can have blade wander, drift. It's not ideal, but it lets you cut stuff really fast and very close to the same. So unless you stink at using the miter saw, it's okay for this kind of stuff. This is our collection of drills. This is our cordless stuff. We got some Makita, some Festool, some Bosch, DeWalt, Ridgid, Milwaukee, Makita, all of it. Some of it's getting a little dated, but we're keeping it around because we like to have a lot of different brands represented in our work. So, as I talked about last week on PopWood Playback, we're gonna make a shelf. And over here, I have all the pieces cut. So basically, I already did these, and we're gonna time travel a little bit. We already cut these, and it's gonna come in the next clip. And I really wanted to make modular units for each brand so you could take them to the workstations, but they're just all too different. I really just need shelves for this. And so basically, I have made lap joints in these, and then I'm going to cut out the rest of the lap joint in the shelves, and then add a cleat to the back, and we're gonna call it done. It's not an overly complicated shelf, but I think it'll fit what we need well. So
take a short break from the build because I want to show you how I found all of my drill station, charging station videos. So in YouTube, I will type in charging station, and then when I'm looking for PopWood Playback videos, I'll use the filter function here, and so you can actually go by view count or upload date. Typically I go by view count over here when you're sorting, and then when you click on filter again, you can do this year, and it will start to aggregate some of the videos you're looking for. So charging station wasn't the best one. Here's Woodwork Life, Alaris, her tool belt, Milwaukee. Let's look for drill station. There we go. One of the things I love to see is if you go by view count, and this is all time, we have some very popular builds. Of course, Baby Bates is one of my favorites. Uh-oh. And so I'm going to aggregate some of the most popular drill stations that we've had on YouTube, And you can browse through those on your own time, but this is also a little tiny tutorial on how I find some of our PopWood Playback videos. And so for that, I usually go to the last week and, oh, that's weird. Anyway, that's how I usually find them. So let's get back into the build.
I've laid out all of my shelves and I have clamped these two pieces together. I'm going to cut these lap joints out on the miter saw. To do that, I had to add 2 additional fences. I added a milled up piece of 2x6 and then another piece of MDF. And the reason I did that, I wanted to kick the work out to where these cuts, when I come down, are pretty much flat at the bottom. If I hadn't added these fences, they would have had a little curve, was the radius of the blade. So now that that's all set up and I've just added with some screws to keep it all nice and tight, I'm going to make these cuts. That back edge is not perfect, but with the jigsaw, I got pretty close to my line, and you saw me using the set of that jigsaw blade to really kind of chip away sideways as I was cutting that. And so that got me a flat edge. I might clean it up with a chisel if it doesn't fit very well into the lap on that piece. So let's see how this fits once I chisel that side out. So I really need to put a notch in the back to run the power cords through. So I'm going to just notch out in here. I'm doing 2 shelves at once. And so since it's a charging station, all the cords have to kind of come to the middle and down to our outlet or power strip. So I think a shape that can fit that will be good. Okay, so these are all sanded and routed. And these 2 are looser than these 2. So we'll throw some glue on there, and I think it's time to go make that cleat. All right. I've cut this piece to 21 1/4 in length. I'm about to put a 45-degree cut, or rip one down the middle of it, so that I'll have the 2 halves of my French cleat. We've had a couple plan changes in the last 5 minutes. We're still using the cleat, but I've added pocket holes to the bottom of these shelves to keep them towards the wall. So that actually looks pretty good. Whoa.